Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Girl Be Free podcast. I'm your host, Siobhan, where I'm going to inspire and motivate you to show up for yourself. I am loving this week homemade granola. I know that may seem really silly, but I've been making homemade granola for about a month or more, and I have a really good recipe that I will share in the show notes. And I like granola a lot, and it's so expensive when you buy it in the store, specifically at Whole Foods. So I found a recipe. I really love it. It is vegan and it comes out really good, and my family loves it too. And I always kind of mix it with different things. So I like using shredded coconut, sliced almonds. Sometimes I may add some dried fruit like dried cranberries. But if you like granola, like sprinkling it on your yogurt or just eating it as a healthy snack, this is a really great recipe. And again, I'll share it in the show notes for you. All right, today's topic is get out of your feelings and do something. So, this is going to be some, is it hard love? Tough love. So, today I'm going to give you a little tough love. Feelings get in the way of getting stuff done, right? And you can always tell yourself, I don't feel like doing something. And when you constantly do that, you're only setting yourself back because every time you don't feel like doing something, now you're not getting closer to reaching the goal that you set for yourself. So, I'm going to tell you two different scenarios that happened to me. I believe it was last Wednesday. So, the first one was I woke up on Wednesday and I was like, man, I do not feel like going to the gym. And I did everything in my power to avoid going. I was scrolling on Instagram. I just kind of lounged around the house, like all of the things, right? And I just didn't feel like it. And I know the reason that I didn't feel like it is because I had been working on the motherless child. I had just wrapped up everything for the motherless child guidebook. And so I was like emotionally and mentally drained. However, those are the moments when you need to go to the gym. So that was scenario number one, is not feeling like going to the gym and procrastinating to avoid doing it, right? And then number two was I didn't feel like doing an IG live that day. And it was just, I didn't feel like going on. I mean, obviously, I always have things to talk about, but there was no excitement to actually do it. I'm like, oh, I can just cancel it. Who's going to come and listen anyway? I'll just do it on Friday. Just really telling myself all the reasons why I shouldn't do something. And then I want to point this out. These are two commitments that I made to myself, right? That I decided that I was going to do. When it comes to the gym, so for the month of July, I set a goal for my 21-day challenge in the BeFree Inner Circle that I would commit to working out 4 days per week. And this is to build momentum so I can continuously work out. Because the way that I think about it is that as I close out 2019 and walk into 2020, which will be my glow up season, my body needs to be right. I want to be able to wear what I want to wear and not what I have to wear to cover up because I'm not in the best shape. So I want to look good on the outside, feel good internally, and that is the commitment as to why I'm working out. As far as the IG lives, I do them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I want to engage with my audience a little bit more. I want to get you, from the newsletters, from listening to the podcast to actually having the ability to engage with me and ask questions, and we can just have really good conversation. And that is a commitment that I made until the end of the year, that I would make sure that I go live on IG 3 times a week. Now I'm open to switching those days up, things like that, but committing to that time slot of 12:30 p.m. is something that I decided to do, at least until the end of the year. So I had to have a pep talk with myself because I realized, like, wait a minute, you don't feel like going to the gym, you don't feel like doing IG Live. We need to get out of our feelings. And this is what I had to say to myself, all right? How will you ever be consistent when you base your decisions on how you feel? You're never going to reach your goals if you're constantly giving up because you don't feel like doing something. You will be like many people where all you do is start and stop, never getting anything done. And that is a post that I also made on Facebook and Instagram, but that was a pep talk that I had to have with myself. And that was real talk. So when I shared it on Instagram and Facebook, that post got so many shares and so much engagement. And you know why? Because it's the absolute truth. If you base your decisions on how you feel, you are not going to be consistent with getting anything done. And you're going to constantly start and stop over and over again, and then being frustrated with yourself because you're not accomplishing the things that are important to you. So we got to get out of our feelings, stop allowing that inner voice or that inner critic to consume our mind where we don't get anything done. You have to silence that inner voice, push past how you feel, and go forward and do that thing anyway. And this is the pep talk that I'm having with myself all the time. So there's a couple of key things that I want you to remember. And that is, you have to think about, why did you decide to set this goal in the first place? So for me, when it came to IG Live, I know it is very important to me to make meaningful connections and cultivate community with my BFFs, which is my BeFree family, online and offline. I do it because I want to engage more. I want people to get to know me outside of just seeing pictures and stuff online. I want you to really get to know me as a person. The way that you're able to do that is when you're able to engage with me, in real life, or real time, we shall say. When it comes to working out, again, my why is that I want to look good. I want to feel amazing. I want to be a role model for my children. And with that, that means I'm going to have to sacrifice how I feel and make sure I'm doing the things that are important to me. Another key thing that I want you to remember is to take a break when you need to and just press the reset button, the mental reset button. So if you need to take a break because you feel like you're approaching burnout, that's a whole different conversation, right? But it's okay to take small little breaks here and there. Start small is the next thing that I want to share. So I was telling my husband that day that I didn't feel like going to the gym, and he was like, "Well, if you don't feel like it, totally understandable. Why don't you make your workout a small workout? So just abbreviated version from what you would normally do." And I said, "You know what? Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to shorten my workout so I still get in there and I do something, but I don't have to spend the long hour, 45 minutes that I normally spend in there." And that felt really good, just to give myself permission to switch it up a little bit. And then the last thing I want you to take away from this is to treat yourself, right? So when you do something that you don't feel like doing and you do it anyway, treat yourself, right? And you can find a way to reward yourself in whatever feels good to you, but that could be a motivation for you to keep going. So at the end of the day, I want you to get out of your feelings. Stop allowing your feelings to consume you and control you, right? The goal is for you to remain consistent. And that is what I see my clients struggle with the most, is consistency. Where if you're always giving up, and when something is not going right or you don't feel like doing something, then it's going to be very hard for you to be consistent. And then how are you going to tell other people to do the same when you can't do it for yourself? So that is my pep talk for you today. That pep talk was definitely for me, and I know I just needed to share it with my Girl Be Free listeners. Instead of an action step this week, I'm going to share a quote by James Clear. He is the author of Atomic Habits. I have yet to read the book, but I plan on reading it. But this quote makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to share it with you. He says, "All big things come from small beginnings." Okay, so just honor your small beginnings. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Pace yourself. Don't feel like you have to rush, and just stay consistent and get out of your feelings so you can get stuff done. Okay. So, a couple of things I want to point out. Tickets are available for the August 17th BeFree Meetup. July's event is happening this week and it is already sold out. But August 17th, tickets are available. They will sell out soon, especially because we are a month in. So, definitely, if you are interested in coming to Cleveland and joining me, I highly recommend that you snag your ticket ASAP, and you can go to befreemeetup.eventbrite.com. The link will be in the show notes for you. If you are enjoying these podcasts, or excuse me, if you are enjoying the podcast, I want you to share it with people that you care about. You can text them the link. You can share it on social media, all that jazz. Share it in your IG stories and tag me. You can always share your key takeaways with me by hopping on Instagram or Facebook and just tagging me so that I can see it and I can definitely respond to you. Lastly, you can grab your Free Your Mind journal, which is a beautiful resource that I created for you, where if you feel like you lack clarity, you need to feel empowered to shift your mindset so you can take action. This is a self paced journal with 40 writing prompts, so you don't have to think about what to write. The prompts are there for you. There's also coloring pages, affirmations, and different writing exercises to really help you start to free your mind and get those thoughts out of your head and down on paper. And because it's guided, again, you don't have to think about what to write. The questions are already there to prompt you. You just have to fill in the lines. So you can grab that at freeyourmindjournal.com. The link is in the show notes. Lastly, join me every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on IG Live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can connect with me on IG and always share your key takeaways. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. I do want to let you know one final thing. The Motherless Child Guidebook, A Sacred Space to Healing Your Mother Wounds, will be out very, very soon. So if that's something that you want to know more about, make sure you continue to listen to the podcast. I'm going to be having some special episodes just around mother wounds. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a special series that I'm going to do. If you have questions, or if you are someone that has a strained relationship with your mother, go ahead and shoot me an email at hello@befreeproject.com or DM me on IG and just let me know, and we can have some conversation around that. And I'm sure there's something I can share to support you. So, as always, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, girl, be free.